It's the most ambitious take-a-look for the most ambitious movie ever, The Odyssey.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
We have Oscar winner Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Oscar winner Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, John Leguizamo, Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o.
You're pining me for a daddy you didn't even know.
And perhaps the most visionary director of all time, Christopher Nolan.
Odysseus, don't you remember?
We're taking you behind the scenes of The Odyssey, the epic that transforms the world's oldest story into one of cinema's biggest events, with the entire cast and crew.
Ithaca's king is coming back.
No, he's not.
And we'll show you why this is a movie made to be experienced on IMAX 70mm film.
Help me go home.
Our exclusive half-hour special starts now. Let's take a look! Yeah, welcome in to our half-hour special on the most ambitious movie ever made, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. We're in a movie theater right now. Want to know why? You need to see it in a movie theater on the biggest screen possible, and the biggest screen is the IMAX screen. More importantly, this movie was shot by Christopher Nolan entirely in IMAX. It's a miracle in the making. It's a miracle every time they show the movie. 11 miles of film each and every time they run this movie. I had a chance to sit down with the entire cast and crew. Matt Damon and I have been talking since the dawn of his career. It was a joy to catch up with him about this. Dude, congrats on this.
Thank you, thank you.
Man, you want to talk about journey? Like, you and I sat toe-to-toe like over a century ago. It was your very first time doing this, and you were like oozing joy and gratitude. And seeing you talk about this, it's still there. Where's that coming from?
Oh man, well this just felt like the chance of a lifetime. It really, the story, you know, it's the Odyssey. It's been, you know, 3,000-year-old story, and I've never been in a movie that's at this scale. And because he does everything in camera. It's like how I started out making movies, you know. Right. It felt like a return to that, and like this is the way the movie, you know, David Lean would have made this movie.
Sure.
You know, if you see 1,000 extras, there are actually 1,000 extras there, 1,000 people all in battle gear, and I mean it just was an awesome. The scale of it was really cool to be a part of.
And in addition to that, shooting practically, you're also shooting on film. So how great is it? A 3,000-year-old story, but you're also preserving film.
And on film and on IMAX film, which that was another thing. You know, Chris didn't announce it before we started because we didn't know if we'd be able to pull it off. It's really technically challenging to do that, and it was just really exciting to be a part of a group that, as the weeks kind of went by, and we were and it was happening. We were like, wait a minute, I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to be able to do the whole thing.
So you're going to be on to other movies. You're on to other movies right now. But when you think back to on the day, what's the one day of Odyssey that will cement the story?
Oh man, I couldn't. Each day was incredibly difficult. Like each location was incredibly difficult for everybody, and I think that was my takeaway was that what I loved about it was I'd never been challenged that much, and I'd never been in a group in which each person was individually challenged that much. And the only way it could have worked is if everybody kind of, you know, put everything they had into it. And so I left there kind of feeling like, wow, I've never been more proud to be a part of a team. And so when you see the movie, I think you really can see all of that work that these thousands of people did to make it happen.
Congratulations, Matt Damon, on every nomination, on every award. You deserve it for this role. He dropped down to 165 pounds, his high school weight. He said it's not only the most grueling movie he's ever done, it's the most grueling thing he's ever done in life. Congratulations, you did it. Hey, I talked about the miracle that is the IMAX film. Coming up in a moment, I'm going to show you where the magic happens in the projection viewing gallery. Coming up in a moment, you're going to see 11 miles of film that is this movie, and the miracle every single frame is. Also, Zendaya joining us next. Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o and John Leguizamo as our half-hour special, The Odyssey, continues. Welcome back to our half-hour take-a-look takeover of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, the most ambitious movie ever made. And let me tell you why. If you haven't heard, it was shot entirely on IMAX film. This has never been done before, so I want to take you behind the scenes before you get to know some of the people behind this movie. All right, so IMAX film rolls at 5,000 feet per second. This movie, The Odyssey, is 11 miles long. Do you want to see it? Come on into the projection booth. I can't begin to tell you how hot it is in here. The bulb runs at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. I don't even want to get close. I don't want to get my dust and particulates on it, but that is the miracle. That is the movie, The Odyssey, playing in a projector about the size of a Volkswagen bus. Biggest screen possible. Make sure you see it that way. There are only a few theaters. This is one of 40 prints in existence. Find a theater playing it this way. A giant movie requires giant stars. Zendaya, John Leguizamo. Respect the miracle. Take a look. Good to see you too.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, good to see you.
Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
There are movies, and then there are movies.
Oh yeah, this is one of those. Yeah.
For real.
Talk about the day on the set you knew this was going to be something extraordinary.
The day I got the script, I read that script. It comes in a red paper with shiny print. You can only see like at noon in the sun.
Yeah.
But it's seared in your soul. You're like, wait a minute, how did Christopher Nolan take this ancient masterpiece and make it even better? Because it's so accessible. It hits you viscerally, like you were saying.
You had said one time Interstellar was your favorite Christopher Nolan film. What's your favorite Christopher Nolan film now?
I think this is a strong contender.
Yeah, right.
But you know, it's interesting. A lot of there are similar themes.
Yeah,
about trying to come home to your loved ones, and then that connection between. In that it was a father and their daughter, but it's a father and their son. And this idea that there is the weight of the world on your shoulders and wanting to save those things and having to come to terms with a lot of things that have happened in your journey. And maybe that's the reason that it's so moving, is that very human element. When you boil down to it, it's the love that you have for the people around you and what you're willing to do to get back to them.
Yeah, it kind of redefines what home is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You talked about the weight of the world. Talk about the weight of the world when you know that this giant camera is rolling film. And like, digital's one thing. We got unlimited, do 1,000 takes. But when you're rolling on a film, what kind of pressure is that?
Wow, you do feel a little extra pressure because it's a 300-pound camera. It's only 3-minute reels. They got to change it every 3 minutes. You do feel this, that you got to give a little extra without being too big because now your face is ginormous, But you do feel like this extra weight of, oh man, I gotta deliver something meaningful here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do remember too, like, typically it's, you roll and then you background action, but it's background roll action.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure that there's no film wasted and no time wasted. And also just like watching everyone else's performances under this pressure, because I'm feeling heavy pressure, and I know, but I'm watching people who I've watched their work for years, incredible performers, and they're just like, they seem so calm and so chill, and I'm like, am I the only one
they're acting.
so nervous right now, But yeah, there's you really want to get it right, and you want to make the best use of the film that you have.
They are so great in this. But truth be told, every actor in this movie has a career best performance. You'll hear me say that throughout this. Nothing short of amazing. Hey, want to see something amazing? All right, so Zendaya has been on IMAX film before, but never a movie shot entirely in the IMAX format. But Dune had some, and film nerds, get ready. I don't know if I'm supposed to show this or not, but look. That's the trailer to Dune, and that's the size of a trailer in the IMAX format. I digress. Back to this movie. Himesh Patel, amazing. Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o, also a career best performance from a career that's had some great performances. I said, so you're no rookies, but what will you remember for the rest of your life about this movie? Good to see you too.
Good to see you.
Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
To say it's epic is an understatement.
Yes.
Right.
For you two, what's the day that cemented epicness?
I think it was day one for me, walking onto the beach in Morocco, where we're all sort of, the ships are laid out, we're about to set sail for home. And it was as far as the eye could see, boats, and there was we weren't going to digitally enhance anything, we weren't going to add any more in post. They were there on the day, hundreds of extras. just a huge undertaking from day one. And I was like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Although it's, your work, and most actors don't love seeing themselves, on the screen. How excited are you for yourself and audiences to see it on this biggest format possible?
To be honest, this story is so episodic, right? And for me, I mean, he's in the entire film, but I was in a small portion of it. So it wasn't as painful to watch myself because there was so much else to watch. And it's grand, it's made with so much love and passion, and you can feel it. It's a very visceral movie. So when I watched it, I left shaking because it just moved me beyond how I imagined it would. It's really an incredible film.
They are so awesome and part of the never-ending star lineup in the most ambitious movie ever made. It's the most ambitious casting ever, and of course, ambitious because it's shot on IMAX film, which is why we're in the projection booth right now. Look, I'll show you. If you see film normally, IMAX digital, not unimpressive is this projector, but the real deal is this, a 70mm masterpiece running film through all of these sprockets across a room back and forth to get that 11 miles of film. Every time you see this movie projected in this way, and it is the way you should see it, it's a miracle. I'm gonna stop rambling about it. Why should I ramble about it when the person who decided to do this creation in this way is Christopher Nolan? And he joins us next. Welcome back to our half-hour take-a-look takeover. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. We're in the IMAX projection booth. Only 33 locations throughout the world showing it this way. See it that way. It's more of an experience than a movie, but oh, what a glorious, amazing movie it is. Hey, that's the beast right there. That is a projector that burns at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Without all that specialty air conditioning, the projector itself would melt. So your question is, why? Why shoot an entire movie on IMAX film? Why hasn't it been done before? And why did Christopher Nolan want to do it this way? Well, as I'm in the captain's chair here in the booth, let me toss to the captain himself. Take a look. Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
It is a masterpiece. It's a miracle.
Thank you.
Talk about you're preserving a 3,000-year-old story, but you're also preserving film, the art form. Talk about the miracle, like every single frame of this, the advancing of the film via a sprocket with the time shutter.
Yeah.
Every bit of this is a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, I think film itself is an incredible miracle. It's a wonderful illusion. It's been with us a little over 100 years now. My ambition for this film was to shoot an entire film on IMAX film, which I'd never done before. I first saw IMAX as a kid, and it's this incredible immersive format. And I thought, why isn't Hollywood working with this? And then years later, on The Dark Knight, I got to go to IMAX and say, can we use your cameras? We'll shoot the introduction of the Joker. We'll shoot the truck flip, all this stuff. We'll do all the big moments on IMAX. And we did that. And then over the years, I've tried to move towards being able to shoot the whole film on IMAX. The thing that was stopping us was the noise of the cameras. Because they do, as you say, it's sprocket, pulling this film across the gate, and it's massive film. So you're thrashing this huge amount of film through the cameras. It's very, very loud. But on this film, IMAX was able to build us a blimping system, this high-tech box that the camera goes in, that you can now, we were able to take the camera, bring it in for a close-up of an actor, have them continue to perform, and get the entire film that way. So for the first time ever, every frame's on IMAX.
And with that said, you're still at the limitations that, correct me if I'm wrong, but about 3 minutes in a magazine.
Yes.
So if you're in the middle of the most poignant speech, does that cause actus interruptus?
Actus interruptus.
We ran out of film.
Yeah,
Restart.
Exactly. And I think, and there's no hiding it because it's very apparent when you have to reload that camera. But talking to the crew and talking to the actors, we said, let's try this. Let's see how this goes. And we were able to come up with a system whereby, as the camera would run out, we would stop the scene, but we wouldn't do what normally happens when you say cut. Normally when you say cut, everybody breathes a sigh of relief and they go and they grab a sandwich or whatever, there's all that. What we did this time is our first AC, Keith Davis, who's incredible AC, he figured out how to load the camera very quietly and very quickly. So we would all stay tense, the actors would stay in position, and everybody would just maintain that kind of focus as he very quickly reloaded the camera, and he got the reloads down to just like under 2 minutes, and then off we would go again. But that required everybody on the crew and the actors to sort of sign up for this. Like, okay, it's going to be a very different process, it's going to be very unique, but at the end of it, we're going to do something that no one's ever done before in movies. And that got everybody excited and focused on working that way.
So I'm going to grab one scene, one frame specifically to frame in your office. What is that frame going to be where everything's firing on all cylinders? You've got hundreds of extras. It's that one practical day where you're most proud, that one frame.
Gosh, it's hard for me to let go of the waves hitting the horse as half buried in the beach. That's an image that I first came up with when I was briefly attached to direct Troy 20 years ago. And I had to think about, well, how would I approach the horse? Because that was portrayed in that script as well. And that's an image I came up with back then and was able to realize fully, in this film. And so that's the longest held image, that I've had in this film. There's so many others since then, but that's hard to let go of, as I say.
It's gorgeous. Congratulations in advance on all the accolades.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Such an honor. Hey, Christopher Nolan, thank you on behalf of film fans all over the world for preserving this. I mean, think about it. 11 miles of this in every theater, of which there are only 33, worldwide, every single frame, which is about that much, a miracle. Also miraculous, so I'm just showing you the projection. The capturing of this is amazing. I sat down with Academy Award winner Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland, who probably never thought they were going to be playing mother and son, to talk about doing exactly that and the miracle moment they knew was going down on set. Next. Welcome back to our half-hour takeover of all things Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey of Take a Look. This is a canister with IMAX on it. Want to know why? What I'm about to tell you is super nerdy, but I hope you'll appreciate it. In this day and age where everything's in the cloud, what we listen to, what we watch, even in movie theaters, it's just being piped on a digital freeway. This is physical media. This is canister 1, canister 2, canister 3 of 19. There are only 40 prints worldwide in existence for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and this is one right here. It ends up assembled on a 6-foot platter, 11 miles of film stretching back and forth across the projection booth into that projector. That's just the miracle of projection, the miracle in the making, not only in filming it in IMAX, but also the big sets that had to take place to make it happen. No one more impressed, and no one got it more than day one, Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway. We talked.
Nice to Mark. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Always smartly dressed.
Natty.
I try to dress up to look prepared. I'm not.
Okay. Well, let's wing it.
All right, let's wing it. I can't wait to see this movie. I'm kidding. I saw the movie. Congratulations.
I'm like, we're winging it at that level. Okay.
No, we're not. This might be one of the most emotionally superb movies I've ever seen. But
really?
Every ounce of this movie, every frame, every nuance of this movie is probably the best cinematic offering there's ever been.
Love that.
Dude,
Keep going,
it's
Mark.
the beginning of the day.
I
We're
know,
just gonna,
let's go.
Wow, thank you.
But you have to know, with all the components going into it, it's going to be this. So when you arrived that first day on set, what was the one thing, the one moment you thought, this is it? This is why this is great?
For me, it was... Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Ladies first.
Well, my first scene was with Tom, and it involved a camera on a helicopter.
Yeah.
And it was just a dialogue scene.
Yeah. And we were lip reading because it was so loud.
It was so loud. And I just remember, and we were in an ancient castle that was real, that looked out over this beautiful sea in an area of the world that I'd never been in. And I just remember thinking, this is just so epic. But you still have to, but just still like the 1, 2, 3's ABC's fundamentals of filmmaking are so important. So you have to remember that. You know, with someone like Chris, as grand as it is up there, he really just, he so relies on technique.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to stay present, and so you want to be in it, but not get carried away by all of it, you know?
What's the first note or first thing he told you after you filmed your first scene? And I love that we get to say film, because you have to correct
We
that
shot
often,
it, yeah.
because there's no film. This is so film.
My first day was a real kind of baptism of fire. You know, we shot 2 days worth of work in one day. It was in this kind of humongous set in Morocco. It was my most emotional scene in the film. And, you know, it was this big banquet scene, and Bernthal was giving this like incredible performance, and Lupita was doing wonderful work, and I was last up. You know, he kind of got everyone's coverage and then came to me last. And in the scene, it was really prescribed that Telemachus breaks down into tears, which for me always stresses me out, because it's like,
but what
if
if
I can't that day, you know? And because of the nature of the IMAX camera, you can only film for about 3 minutes before the mag runs out. And John Bernthal's speech, which is what is supposed to bring this emotion out of me, was probably about 5 minutes worth of material. So Chris had kind of said to me, look, we're not going to be able to shoot the entire scene with one mag, so can you just do your portion of the scene without listening to John's story? Now, John's performance, which is what was bringing the emotion, and throughout the day as he was doing his scene, you know, you like hold it in a little bit. You're like, I don't want to waste it when it's on the back of my head. But I could feel the emotion coming when he was chatting, so I was like, oh, this will be fine. But then I had to do it without John doing the speech.
Yeah.
But it was great, and it went really well. I cried, and Chris gave me a hug afterwards, and
you were
I
on
felt
the set.
super accomplished. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I can exist in this world.
They are so awesome. Do you hear the passion cracking in their voice? Not just Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland, but everyone we featured today. You could hear they were committed from day one, and it shows. Christopher Nolan, thank you for preserving this movie. See the Odyssey in an IMAX theater. There are only 33 locations, like I said, worldwide, but well worth it. Sold out? Some? Yeah, sure, but you gotta see it this way. It's an experience. Christopher Nolan telling a 3,000-year-old story and protecting a 100-year-old medium. Hey, thanks, Christopher Nolan. Thank you, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and the rest of the cast. And thank you for watching Take a Look. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're seeing it later on YouTube, AFN Worldwide. Thank you for fighting the real battles and protecting us. We salute you. Hey, have a good one. Odyssey! Peace.